Hello, Huskies, and welcome to another episode of our Talk a Latte podcast. I am Jamie, your host. Today, our episode will be on the Parade of Nations. So for some of our current students that have been here for a while, you may know all about the Parade of Nations, but for our new listeners and our new community members to Michigan Tech, this may be a first for you. So we will talk all about the Parade of Nations today and what that entails. Once again, I am joined here by four of our guests that are on the Parade of Nations committee, and they will talk to you a little bit today about what they do in their roles as well as what the Parade of Nations entails. So if you want to start by introducing yourselves and what your involvement is, we'll start with you, Michelle.
Okay, good morning. My name is Michelle Borsam. I am the manager of International Student Scholar Services here at Michigan Tech in the IPS department. I am the chair of Parade of Nations and have been in that role for quite a few years now. Enjoy it highly.
Hi, I'm Mariana Nakashima, and I'm the administrative assistant for IPS, and I'm also the co-chair for Parade of Nations, and I am in charge of the entertainment part, and I also am part of the parade side.
All right. Hello, Huskies. My name is Katie Bright. I have been on Parade of Nations since 2022. I serve on the board and I handle the student outreach, local business outreach for food vendors for the D Stadium event on that day. I also work for Flagstar Bank in Houghton. I'm the branch manager there, and we have a great relationship with IPS and Parade of Nations as a whole. So it's always been a tradition for anybody who is with Flagstar Bank, we at least have one representative on Parade of Nations. So really excited to be here and excited to connect with you guys today.
Good morning. This is Koray Inal. I'm a community member. I'm also a 2005 alumni of Michigan Tech myself, and I serve on the committee of Parade of Nations for a couple of years now. Aside from our ongoing board meetings on a monthly basis, obviously, I also help on the morning of the parade, especially and the day before, setting it up and getting it ready and getting it going, especially on the parade side where we introduce the floats into the parade. We all take some active participation, and I have one of those jobs as well. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you chatting with us a little bit today about the Parade of Nations as well as your involvement with the parade as well. And like I mentioned, there might be some people listening to this episode that have no idea what the Parade of Nations even is. But like Koray and Katie had mentioned, this is a community event. So even though a lot of our department handles the pre-planning and things like that, it still is a full force effort with our community. So if anyone wants to get started here, I just want to know a little bit more about what the Parade of Nations is. So who founded it, what was the inspiration behind it, and what is the purpose of it?
I guess I'll go. So as far as who started Parade of Nations, that was the amazing Betty Chavis, who is from the local area. Began about 35 years ago, or 36 years ago now, as just an amazing idea to bring diverse culture and inclusion to the Copper Country, to also get awareness out regarding all of our international students and how there's so many different countries represented here at Michigan Tech and in just our local community.
Awesome. And what exactly is the Parade of Nations? Obviously from the name you can tell there's a parade involved, but is there anything else that is included with this celebration?
Well, to me, to all of us, what it is about remembering how diverse our community is and how much we also have in common. Like, is for students to be seen, especially new students coming into Michigan Tech, to an area that is beautiful nature-wise, but also so isolated. So it's important for them to be seen. Right now, at this moment, we have 91 countries represented at Michigan Tech. So it's beautiful for the community to appreciate them, see them, and then they put a showcase their talents, dancing and singing. And also there will be many food booth, and they will be cooking their own traditional meals for all of us to purchase and enjoy with them.
Awesome. So it's like a triple threat, the parade, the food, and the entertainment. So that's awesome. Yeah, did you have something to add as well, Koray?
Sure, yeah. When I was a student, I remember attending the parade, and that was a fun event, and now I really enjoy actually being on the committee side. I get to see what it takes to put it together, actually. there's a lot of work that goes into it. So it just it helps me get back involved again in that what I was involved in as a student, just walking through the parade. Now I get to be back in it again in a different setting, and I really enjoy it. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I think and the spirit of the parade carries itself through the committee itself as well. So
Corey had reached out to us via email with some suggestions, and I saw that email and I was like, oh, he needs to be on this committee. And when we asked him, he was like, I would love to. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Especially after seeing it as a student too, now being involved. And I know, Katie, you're a local like I am. So do you have memories like growing up of seeing this parade and going there as a kid?
I do. And it just such a phenomenal way to bring everybody together and really just celebrate our diversity here in the Keweenaw. I mean, it's an incredible feat, and a lot of work goes into it, as we all know, right? But yeah, it's an incredible event, and I'm very, very fortunate to have this in our area.
I don't think so many people realize how many countries are represented in our small area.
Right.
And when you see it in the parade, it's like last year, me and Katie watched it probably for the first time since we've really been taking charge of this. It was breathtaking, actually. It was really amazing to see all these cultures come together for one goal, and happiness and love, and
Right.
it was it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Like Brianna said, 90 countries.
91 countries.
Oh, 91.
my
And
gosh.
it's really cool to see, even though there's one student from a certain country at Michigan Tech, they will be there standing proud with their flag and representing their country, even the proud one of them. So yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, so going into this year's Parade of Nations, what is this year's theme for the parade?
oh, it's games around the world, and it's a theme is something we start having our committee meetings quite a few months in advance. And it's kind of funny. The first time I joined the committee, I found it kind of odd initially starting our meetings so many months in advance. So that was my first year, and I realized there's so much to do. So it was a good thing we're starting so many months in advance, and I'm getting to learn, and it's an incredible experience for me to learn and understand what goes in the background. But part of those meetings is that where we go through various different options, alternatives for themes, and we vote on it, and we discuss about it, and we choose one. So this year's theme again is the games around the world.
Right, awesome.
And as you can imagine, with 36 years, you have to keep track of all these things.
Yes.
So that you don't repeat them.
Yeah.
And trying to come up with new ideas, it's a lot.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, that's been done. Oh, wait, I think that's been done. You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard to get a good theme, but then once you do, you're like, oh, we locked it in, and it's a great theme.
Yeah, I think my favorite part too is when you put the logo contest out there with the theme. And speaking of which, what is the logo that you guys selected this year for the parade theme?
So it's a duck, duck, goose theme. And it is the cutest. Oh my goodness. Very excited to see those on the little pins this year and people walking around with them.
Yeah.
Yes, and her name is Graciana Wagner, and she's a 10th grader from Lake Linden High School. And her teacher, Heather French, is really excited because this is the third year that she gets a winner from Lake Linden. So hooray to Lake Linden. They're really doing a great job. And their art teacher, Heather French.
Yes. So how does that work then? Do you have local schools submit designs for that?
Yes, we reach out to all the local schools. Well, I should say Mariana reaches out to the local schools, to all the art teachers, and ask them to participate. And a lot of them do. We've had amazing entries every year. And to be quite frank, it's hard. It's hard to pick a winner. We were torn between a few of them this year, but that little duck, duck, goose one really got us. So it's just super cute. But yes, and it's so nice. That idea came in. Actually, for me, many years ago, trying to bring in local community and to try to give back a little bit, you know, so we want to award some of these children for getting involved and also bring awareness to these different age groups about the diversity and different cultures in our area. So, you know, to try to get them excited, everybody, it's a win-win. They get a prize, you know, so they get their logo all over the place between sidewalk stickers and you know, all over social media. It's just very nice to get the local, you know, children involved in it.
Sure.
And there's
Absolutely.
also a $300 prize.
Yes.
Sweetens the deal.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah. And moving into the parade, I know Michigan construction and everything like that tends to adjust the Parade of Nations parade route every few years. So what is the parade route this year for the parade?
So, this was a little controversial. Initially, it was between both cities. It was, I had always started in Hancock, went over to the bridge, and then, downtown, and then ended at the D Stadium. But working with Hancock city officials and ourselves, we decided to try to switch it up, and it wasn't just a Michigan Tech Parade of Nations decision. This was an equal decision between the city of Hancock and the committee to try to change it and use the Michigan Tech campus a little more. And so we started at Michigan, the Michigan Tech campus, and we go through Michigan Tech down Sheridan Avenue? I always get
College Avenue.
Yes, College Avenue, all the way downtown, and then, through the back of downtown Houghton, and then ending at the D Stadium. And honestly, I feel like that parade route last year was beautiful. It was nice to go through campus, to acknowledge that piece. What do you think, Maureen?
I think I got told by President Kubek that he loved the fact that this is the first time he ever actually seen the parade, because he's always in the front, one of the first people in it. And then this time he was able to stop at the D Stadium, actually enjoy the parade, and realize really how diverse we are at Michigan Tech. We always talk about the numbers, we always talk about how diverse we are, but when you see it in person, it changes everything. And when we're all together doing it.
I ended up walking in the parade too last year, and it's so cool going downtown Houghton, seeing all the kids lined up on the sides, and I feel like it's a very good location for it.
And in addition to the college, the campus, I think the College Avenue is also nice to be added on there too. We seem to have a lot of spectators, audience watching the parade, and I was just going to maybe add, Michelle, the fact that even though the route has changed, we still have a representation from City of Hancock on the committee to this day. We're still cooperating and we're still working together about how we can still enhance participation from both sides.
Yes, Hancock was not left out. We definitely, Todd, who's on our committee, is amazing and does a wonderful job trying to, keep Hancock involved and support us. And Hancock's been, amazing throughout the whole process.
Definitely. Yeah, so we have the parade. It starts on Michigan Tech's campus and ends up at the D Stadium. So after the parade, what do you see when you walk in the D Stadium? What is the atmosphere? What does that entail?
3,000 people.
I was going to say, just awestruck at the amount, the space, number one. I mean, the space is huge. When the parade goers are done with walking with their flag, they come down, they turn in their flag at the back of the D Stadium, and then you see food booths lining the entire perimeter of it, or informational booths too regarding, different diverse things, or, different podcasts and stuff like that are there too. So it's a huge event, and people are very excited to get in there. Yes. Yes.
We always have to stop them before they even open the door.
Yep.
That line is so far out the door.
It is.
And a few years ago, we did a head count for grants, and we were over 3,000 people entering the D Stadium. So that says it all. And we also try to keep, kid-friendly activities. So we have kids booths. There's, face painting for kids. We have Parade of Nations also has little, toys and gifts and little different things to, so the parents can come in and enjoy it, and it's not costing them anything for their children, to have these little goodies and different things like that. But when you walk in and you see all the booths just lined up, and all the people lined up, you feel like, oh my God, we did this. It all came together. So it's quite amazing to see it all come together at the end.
Yes.
And if I may add, Houghton being some of the things that we don't have maybe compared to a bigger city is the availability of ethnic food options. And this is one day of the year, I think there's the opportunity for everyone in the community to to see and taste various different choices of food with different ethnic origin made by the people from those regions and the different cultures. So it's a good opportunity, I think so.
It is, and those student orgs that do that, they put so much effort and work and time and blood, sweat, and tears in this food so that everybody can taste it and welcome it, and they're so proud of it.
Yes.
And I think that's what is when they're serving up all these people, their smiles on their face, just allowing them to try something from home, it means a lot to them. And so the community support really, really touches their heart.
And I love what they do with their the money that they make selling the food. So what they do is they are able to create more events for the community, not just their community, but the community by itself. For example, when they celebrate like Persia's New Year's, when they celebrate
Diwali
and other things, we are all invited, but that money that they made, that money goes into that. So
help support these other events.
Definitely. And speaking on the topic of food, what are some of the student food booths that we will see this year, or even some local community businesses as well, if there are any?
We have an incredible lineup this year, I don't mind saying. We have, for student organizations, RSOs, we have the African Students Organization, the Bangladeshi Students Association, German Club, Indian Students Association, Muslim Students Association, the Nepalese Student Organization, the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers, and the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. So grand total, we have 8 student booths coming this year, and they all put on a great spread. Year over year, they do an incredible job. If you are a small business listening to this podcast right now, stay tuned. I'll be reaching out in the coming weeks. But if you are a listener who's interested to know who will be showing up for the local vendors, watch our social media pages. That's going to be your best way to find out who's going to be there and what their menu options are.
Sure, so you can plan ahead and figure out where you're going to stop.
Get there early. Because some of those sell out within, hour and a half. So the food event is from 12 to 3, but normally, 1:30, 2 o'clock, a lot of that food is gone. Yeah, and that's just the truth. It goes that quickly because people are in there to get that food.
One important thing to know, too, is with these student organizations, it is a cash-only event unless if they have a Venmo, but bring cash.
And there is no ATM.
No.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
No, and with the money aspect of it, they try really hard to keep it cost efficient so that they're not, so it's not a huge expense to the community, but with everything, rising costs, rising food expense, rising kitchen costs, different things like that, they do have to charge adequately to even make a little bit of money to make it worth their while too. Right. So it's they try really hard to keep it very, cash friendly and affordable.
For sure. Yeah. So the Parade of Nations, definitely the whole experience is also like dinner and a show, right? So entertainment is also a big portion of the Parade of Nations. So Mariana, would you like to tell me a little bit about what we expect for the Parade of Nations this year?
Yeah, so far we are going to have, of course, as always, the Keweenaw Bay Indian Community starting, the KBIC, which they perform beautiful. Actually, I should say before that, they get introduced by the pet band, which, is going to be amazing and really loud. And then we go with the Keweenaw Bay Indian Community. Then we will have martial arts, which is really nice because you see a lot of youth too doing it. And again, like Michelle says, we want to continue to promote this with the youth. We want them to enjoy diversity, but also learn from others. Like we have a lot of local kids learning martial arts. Then after that, we have the youth Finnish dancers, which is another great group where they continue to perform and they even go overseas to perform. So, and we also will have, of course, the Indian Student Association, the Bangladeshi Student Organization, African students, and we have a new group this year that is going to perform Celtic music. And I'm hoping that she listens to this, but I'm hoping the Brazilian spouse, Natasha, comes and performs salsa with her husband, which because they have been dancing a lot this year. So I hope they do that too.
I think I actually saw them last year getting ready for the parade. They had their own music by their lineup area. And it was so
How
cute.
cool.
Yeah.
Come on, Natasha.
I know our African students as well. They love to play their music while they're dancing, and
Yeah.
they make it a really fun time. And speaking of the parade, again, kind of switching gears, I know floats are obviously a common thing in parades. So are there floats in the Parade of Nations? And if so, how would a group sign up if they are interested in making one?
There are floats, and we would love to see a lot more. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I'm trying to remember from last year too. We certainly get plenty of floats, not only just student body floats, but we also get sometimes community representation floats as well. So we're definitely looking forward to having more floats this year too. They certainly add color and more attractiveness to the parade. That's for sure. And hopefully I'm not missing, but. Certainly, we always have KBIC have their floats. They start with, and their cultural elements are part of it. International Student Association, UP Kids, and BHK were some of the floats that we had last year, and we're looking forward to having them back this year again. So we're and add even more if possible. So
Yeah, the more floats we get, the more it just enhances the whole parade, and it's exciting for the kids. Our goal is to try to make this parade as family friendly as we possibly can. But in doing that, we need the floats. We need those participants so that all these children who do line up continue to want to come back and see it, and it's fun. And not to mention, there's lots of candy that gets tossed out. So kids love that. Bring your Walmart bag, kids.
Yeah, exactly. And so if someone is interested in making a float, whether that's a student organization or a local community business, what is the process to go about signing up?
It's very simple. They can Google Parade of Nations at MTU, and there it will be a Google form that will show like floats. There's also volunteers. We are still looking for volunteers.
It takes a village to do this.
We need 88 volunteers in total, to be specific.
but we also do provide support as well. If the organization that is willing to do a float may be lacking a trailer or other elements or a vehicle to pull that float through, we'll try to make the means to provide those to the organization, to the group, so they can put that together and be part of the parade.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you did mention community involvement. So if someone is interested in participating in the Parade of Nations, what are some opportunities for them? Whether that's parade, food, entertainment, what's the process to go about
So
that?
many things and so many different areas that they can participate, just from donating their time as far as the volunteering goes, or if they wanted to be on the committee. Your monetary donations are always welcomed and appreciated. It is not cheap to put this on. This is all nonprofit. It is all ran by local donations from our wonderful businesses throughout the Copper Country, and of course all the different departments at Michigan Tech. Let's talk about Katie's Bank. We could not do it without that. It takes a lot. So please reach out. We do have an email also that you can just Google, which is paradenations@mtu.edu. Many other things that I'm missing, Mari?
No, like for the university students, if they want to create a float, we do offer $100 grant for them to start their float. Also, like Ray said, there will be possibilities of local people donating their truck for them for that day, and a trailer for them to decorate their float. But also just remember that floats come with prizes. So we have, this year, the Kiwanis Young Professionals will be the ones judging the float. So we have prizes from $350, $250, and $150. So it is worth it to do this, not only for the fun, but also there's a big chance you might get a good prize.
And obviously we talked about students carrying their flags of their home country, or even local area citizens, if they have a country that they've been to that they enjoy, sometimes they hold the flag for that. So what would someone do if they want to request a flag for the parade?
So again, Google Parade of Nations at MTU, and as soon as you get in the page, you will see request a flag, number 1, Google form. Number 2, become a volunteer. And number 3, request to participate on the float. So you will see that those really helpful links right there. It'll be very obvious. And if not, like Michelle said, please give us an email and we will help you out.
Yes, definitely. So moving into a little bit of a closing here, I want to know what your experience with the Parade of Nations has been like. So even if you're a local community member and you've seen it as you've grown up, like maybe Katie and I have, or just some exciting moments you've had while on the committee, I want to hear your experiences and why you enjoy the Parade of Nations so much.
I guess for me, I've kind of been in and off the committee. I've been with IPS for going on 11 years, so it's been many years of me being in it and off it and back on it. And I think for me, watching as the day arrives and all the hard work goes into it and you see it just all come to fruition and you watch that parade and then you see everybody at the D Stadium, it's a sense of pride. It's like, we actually did this, it's come together, all the hard work and everything that goes into it is worth it. Mm-hmm. So for me, that is probably it's just rewarding that day to just see it, there it is, bam, wow,
I love when everybody's having fun, getting organized, but it's so interesting, like, everybody's having fun, but everybody's following the rules, and I love, like, for example, like, my number 1, like, memory last year was to see the Indian Student Associations that they haven't done a float for a while, being on the float, waving their flags, and their faces looking at the people that were in College Avenue was just priceless, that they were so happy to be seen.
Right. What about you, Katie?
And I mean, so my involvement with Parade of Nations as a board member has definitely been some of my most special memories over the years. And I share a lot of Michelle's sentiments too, because we work so closely hand in hand with each other on the board. But absolutely, there's a lot of love and a lot of happiness at this event, and we get to see everybody come together to just celebrate each other, and it's a really, really cool thing. So I am so happy to be a part of this, and it's an incredible event. Please check it out. It's definitely something you want to be a part of.
Oh, like I touched base a little bit in the beginning of the conversation too. That it's a whole different perspective to be on the committee side than I was a student walking through the parade. It's a whole different experience, and a beautiful one too. It's just kind of interesting as we have the committee meetings, as we get towards the September time frame, the things start building up and start speeding up, and that's kind of exciting. And then I try to get involved also. I try to get involved in the boots on the ground portion towards the last couple of days as we prepare the whole, especially the beginning site. And my job has been for the last 2 years getting the groups started in an order, and also getting the floats in there at the right time. And that's you realize with any kind of an organization, there's always some last minute pushes to make it happen, to put it all together and tie it all up and get it going. And when that happens, like Michelle was saying, when those last minute rushes are happening and you're running around and trying to put it together, and when it all gets done and that last group is walking, and I start walking behind them too, and now I'm part of the parade again, just like when I was a student, it's kind of a really cool feeling, and go through that and finish it up at the end of the day. It's just really beautiful. So
for sure. Our committee is fabulous, and I think it's all volunteers, right? Like they're dedicating their time, their effort, their love for the event, and without them, it just would not be possible. So we have Katie, Corey, Mari, just Todd, everybody who is in this committee. They really love it, or they wouldn't be on it.
Yeah,
definitely. So I think that just says a lot about character, the committee itself.
For sure. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys being here, obviously talking about what you do and the work that goes behind the Parade of Nations, because, like you said, it's months in advance, you're scheduling meetings, and it takes a whole community, and that's what the event is all about, is bringing together that community. So thank you for being here and talking about that, and also what you do on the committee. So, and I know Katie had one final reminder for some of our RSOs that might be interested in having a food booth.
I do. So RSOs, you would have filled out a form for me from my email address at tech, which is kadraves@mtu.edu. You guys would have filled that out in late March or early April. I do have your preferred contact information. Please be watching out for your emails in the month of August and especially in September, as I'll be sending out periodic and probably weekly updates and that kind of a thing to make sure we're all in the loop. And like I said before, too, I will be reaching out to local businesses as well. Booths are on a first come, first serve basis. And make sure if I missed you, I'm sorry. But you can feel free to reach out to my Michigan Tech email address, too, to request information, and we can get you on the list. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. We really hope to see you for this year's Parade of Nations. This year's Parade of Nations will be on Saturday, September 20th. The parade will be starting at 11, and for those that are joining the parade, we ask that you come to the Van Pelt and Opie Library to pick up your flag and sign at 10 a.m. so that way we can start on time at 11, and then the food and the entertainment will start at the D Stadium at 12 once the parade is over. So we hope to see you then, and thank you for listening.